Hello everyone and welcome back to another game walkthrough presented by Alright Sprite. We are here playing the mystery game Sherlock Holmes and the Case of the Silver Earring. I played this game a few months ago on stream for the first time. I knew the story, but I played it for the first time, so it was difficult at times, and I played Mystery the Mummy on stream as well, and I plan to do that with the other Sherlock Holmes games I have, but this game has been kind of on the back burner for walkthroughs on my channel for a while now, especially since the time I played Sherlock Holmes the last. I wasn't moved into my new apartment at all. I actually just finally hung up some acoustic wall foam behind me. It doesn't cover all the walls in my room, so that's to kind of see if it makes the audio quality a bit better. So this is a new experience on the channel, is we get to test out this new and improved audio, which, to be honest, probably isn't that improved, but it is a nice aesthetic for my room, which you will probably not get to see until I play it on stream and get to show you guys on there. But regardless, we are here to solve another mystery with Sherlock Holmes. This is part of the game series made by Frogwares of Sherlock Holmes Adventures. Now, I believe the Mystery of the Mummy was the first one they made, and then this was the one they made after that. So there's a huge improvement of graphics and gameplay from that. We had a lot of technical issues with Mystery of the Mummy, but this one shouldn't have as many, but it is still of an older game. Now, I am trying to play as many of the Sherlock Holmes games made by Frogwares that is on Xbox and on PC. I have a bunch of these games on here, and this is one of them. That's one of the earlier ones, and I believe I have all but, I think, one or two that Frogwares has made. So we're going to eventually play all of them on the channel if fortune favors us. And I am hoping to beat them and play them and make walkthroughs for them in the order that they were made rather than chronological order, because these games aren't made in chronological order of the whole Sherlock Holmes story. It's at different points in his life. And I believe Mystery of the Mummy was in 1898, and this was about 10 or 15 years before that. I could be wrong about the time jump itself, but this is before that game. So there's a bunch of stuff that goes on in different games between all around the place when it comes to the order that they made these games. So it could be a bit confusing at times to what time that this is taking place in the whole arc of Sherlock Holmes' story, which, we won't really see that mattering as much until the later games, from my understanding. But I have beat this one. I did it as blind as I could, got a little bit of help, but for this walkthrough, I will be planning to try to go through it efficiently as possible, so I got my own guide right here for me, and basically trying to help you guys get through it as well. The stream was more to see me struggle, while this is to kind of see the story, enjoy the story, and get lots of cool moments with Sherlock Holmes and his assistant, Dr. Watson. But regardless of that, I do plan to finish this game and probably make a video for each day within the game. The game is kind of separated into days that it takes for Sherlock to solve the mystery. So I think I'm going to split up the videos into those days. If not, you will notice by the time that this video comes out. But that is my plan right now. I probably won't be uploading these as fast as I have for some of the previous walkthroughs I have. So it might be a little bit of time before a new video comes out, as it might take me time to record them. I did just come off being really busy with work, and now I got some time coming up. So I'm hoping to get this walkthrough and maybe one other one recorded and uploaded before I get busy again with work. But enough about that. Let us jump in right into another mystery adventure with the one and only Sherlock Holmes.
Dear Mr. Holmes, please let me thank you one more time for your help in solving the case of the Turkish medallion. I'm sure that if the story could go public, the whole country would be as grateful as I am to you. As you may have surmised, I have a very urgent and confidential matter which requires your immediate assistance. You probably are aware that we are going to celebrate the birthday of a very important person, a member of the government. I can't mention their name in this letter for obvious reasons. The most famous and accomplished artists were selected and invited to perform. We are confident about their reputations. However, we have concerns about one performer in particular, a young Italian diva, Gallia, as there are certain rumours circulating about her. She has also provoked great acclaim in every European capital where she has appeared. We want to include her in this gala event, but have reservations about her reputation. She is, as fortune would have it, in London for another engagement. Sir Bromsby has invited her to perform during a reception to commemorate the return of his daughter to England. Due to reasons of politics and security, I can't attend the reception myself. Apart from yourself, I do not know anyone else I would be able to complete a mission of such importance. Together with this letter, I am sending 2 invitations, as I assumed your eminent colleague, Dr. Watson, would be accompanying you. A cab will arrive at 221B Baker Street at 8 p.m. to take you to Sherringford Hall. Even though I know that the prospect of attending a private concert given by perhaps the best voice in Europe is very attractive for a music lover like yourself, please allow nothing to distract you from this important mission. Yours sincerely, Lord Cavendish Smith.
How can we refuse a mission of such importance? Appearances to the contrary, I believe that the future of the nation can depend on our presence. Are you with me?
If the future of the nation depends upon our presence, Holmes, then you can count on me.
Please come right in. According to the request of Lord Cavendish Smith, during the dinner you'll be seated together.
What do you know about Sir Bromsby, Holmes?
I have never met the man, and I do not follow what is written in the newspapers. However, I can tell you that Sir Bromsby is a man of approximately 50 years old, tall in stature. He is impulsive and may be prone to violent outbursts. He is of low birth, has few intimate friends, and does not like women. He must be a very aggressive businessman who would not hesitate to go beyond the law if it served his purposes. I'd like to add that today he is going to make a very important declaration concerning his business. And you, Watson, what have you heard about him?
Well, I doubt that I would be able to give as detailed a description as you have just recited. Holmes, how can you say you do not know the man and give such an account?
Watson, you know my methods. Look at the stage and the stand near the fireplace. It is obvious that they are prepared for a very tall man. I see the hostess and servants anxiously glancing in the direction of a door from which their employer must enter. Their expressions go beyond nerves and suggest fear. Only a violent and unpredictable man can cause such anguish. Now look at the guests. The men present at this party are mainly composed of military officers and rich entrepreneurs. All of them are in their 50s and are clearly business associates, so I decided that he is of their age. Furthermore, to have risen as rapidly as he has in this society, Sir Bromsby would have to be a very ruthless and intelligent businessman. The women present reveal much. Beautiful women and young girls, all neatly but rather cheaply dressed. Watson, look more carefully. There are no chaperones. No ladies would appear in public without suitable escort, I assure you. They stare at the youngest gentleman to find a convenient cavalier and cluck like chickens at the smallest idiocy. In short, a man who would invite only business associates and women of the lower classes to the birthday party of his only child must have few friends, rather poor taste in women, and little regard for his daughter. Another item of note, but not the least, observe that group of men speaking very quickly. It's a group of reporters armed with their notebooks gathered together now that the time of the address is coming. These are not the society reporters for the Times sent to cover a gala birthday party. These are the regular reporters who had come only to gain news about the future of the Bromsby Empire. I will conclude by saying that no man, except a lunatic, would accept such an arrangement of tables and furniture. Look quickly, Watson. I hear applause. Sir Bromsby is coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you all for attending this special reception. In fact, this moment is a turning point for many people.
Watson, quick! Tell Miss Lambert not to allow anyone to leave and to send a man for the police immediately.
All right, now we have control of Mr. Holmes. Let me just quickly say thank you all for stopping by and watching the video, for sticking with me in these journeys that we take, the stories that we learn, we consume, and all that sort of stuff. If you want to see me play more games like this or other games that you would like to suggest to me, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the different social medias. That way you can get regular updates for all these types of games, and each part that we make getting closer and closer to the climax of each story that we play through, including this one. We noticed a murder, the murder of Sir Bromsby, and now it is up to us to solve said murder. Let's talk to this doctor first. Actually, hold on. I think what we're gonna do, actually, is let's read what's already in our inventory. Looks like we already read this, or we had this read to us already by Dr. Watson, so I think it'll be kind of ridiculous to read it again. Celebratory program in honor of the return of Miss Lavinia Bromsby, away for 6 years at a Swiss boarding school and her 18th birthday. Addressed by Sir Bromsby, French dinner, recital overturned by Philharmonic Orchestra of Uxbridge, interpretation of false opera extracts by famous Eva Gallia, garden party with the English treatment. It's kind of hard to read this sometimes based on how the letters are kind of written. You know, it is what it is. Okay. Let's pick up this paper, actually. Bromsby note.
The first handwriting is small and elegant. The second is hurried and forceful.
Let's go and read that. Acknowledgements. If a notable person is present, do not forget to acknowledge them. You welcome your daughter. You will then invite her to enter the hall room. When she is on stage, you make your speech for the journalist. Don't forget the villager and the serpent. Shouting at pigeons isn't mentioned in program. Miss Lambert added this at the last moment. Don't forget to mention this. Okay, that's kind of odd. Okay, now we're going to talk to Doctor. Sorry, when I have moments of quiet like that, I'm mostly just reading my
Excuse
guide.
me, if I may. I am Sherlock Holmes.
What do you wish to know?
Okay, well, we'll just go through each and every one of the options. Your
I
presence
must
here.
ask, who are you?
I am the doctor from the village near the hall.
Is he still breathing?
He died instantly.
Where is the bullet?
It's still in the body. I must obtain police authorization to extract it.
Okay, goodbye.
Thanks, Doctor.
Never mind.
Good day. My name is Sherlock Holmes. Would you mind if I asked several questions?
If it helps you.
Did you notice anything peculiar at the time of the shooting?
I jumped up, and then I looked in the direction of the shot. There, I saw that little flirt, Miss Bromsby. She seemed to be placing something in her handbag amid a cloud of smoke. Then she rushed to the stage. I must say, her sudden inheritance should be a fine present for her birthday.
Bro, that's kind of messed up, don't you think?
What precisely was your relationship with the victim?
We were partners with the old scoundrel. I'm sorry, Sir Bromsby. He personally invited me. He gave me every assurance there would be plenty of fresh meat, if you take my meaning. Well, there was, but some of it was quite cold.
Ew. I don't like him.
Were you an associate of the victim?
Yes, he seems so much bigger when he's lying down rather than standing.
This guy
Well,
kinda sucks.
thank you very much.
It is nothing, dear fellow.
Alright, well, I'm kind of sick through talking to this guy, and I don't think there's anything else over here on this end, so we're going to walk towards the shot.
You do not seem the least bit alarmed.
In India, I became quite familiar with the sound of gunshots. Therefore, their sudden occurrence does not alarm me as they would a woman or certain officers in attendance.
Yes, just the casual misogynism. Wait, what is it? Misogynist behavior is what the correct way to say that, I guess.
Could you explain your presence at this reception?
Bromsby sent me 2 invitations for myself and the wife. My wife has fainted due to the shock of these events. I do hope her condition will last a good while longer, so that I may toss off several glasses of this excellent sherry.
I really still don't get the whole "I hate my wife" jokes. I just never really got them. I get it's kidding, right? But I don't know. It just seems kind of like it's not kidding half the time I hear them. This time is definitely a bit different, but still, dude, go check on your wife.
Why didn't you intervene?
It would have been of no use. Whoever he is, the man who did this is either a perfect shot or extremely lucky, because old Bromsby had no chance at all.
Okay, so
Very well. Thank you.
that means
My
the
pleasure.
suspect would have to have been a perfect shot, according to him. And it killed him instantly, so that's good to know as well. Piece of white cloth on the chair here.
Look, what's this?
We gotta talk to Scott Brims. Some of the point and clicking of this can suck sometimes.
Excuse me, could you answer some questions?
You're quite welcome.
Where were you at the moment this tragedy occurred?
Like all the servants, I was in the ballroom. 'Twas the special orders of the old crab. In my opinion, it was done in particular to have more people there to applaud him. Cunning old bird, wasn't he?
What sort of man was Sir Bromsby? I mean, as an employer.
Troublesome and bad-tempered, but he paid well.
Are you personally at the service of the Bromsby family?
Yes, there are 5 of us who serve in the Sherringford Hall. There are Mary and Sue, the maids, Carl, our chef, Lamb, Sir Bromsby's coachman, and myself. All the rest were brought in just for the reception.
And where are the rest of the staff?
Mary is cleaning downstairs. Sue went to comfort some little goose who had been crying bitterly. It's rather odd because it seemed to me she started crying before Sir Bromsby was shot.
And the coachman?
Lamb is at the main gate. Miss Lambert gave him specific instructions to throw out any reporters and ensure they do not re-enter the hall. However, it would not be good if he finds you've been asking questions here. Tell me, will my name appear in the newspaper?
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure, sir.
That shot was dreadful, wasn't it?
It's neither the first nor probably the last I shall hear in my life. Tell me, young man, are you a barman or not? Because I'm dying from thirst.
Did you have a personal relationship with Sir Bromsby?
What impertinence! I will answer questions of this nature only if they issue from my superiors or the authorities, and you, sir, are neither of those.
Well, I must leave you now.
All right, young man.
I am Sherlock Holmes. I am the only authority you need.
The handle is twisted down. It smells of gunpowder.
So there's a bunch of footsteps here.
This black cloth is large enough to conceal a person. Handsome armor. I need something.
Okay. I think we need
I
this.
need something.
Oh, yeah.
The tracer powder is located at 1 meter 65 from the surface.
Okay. Nope. And then we have to use this here. Magnifying glass on the mirror table.
Black hair.
And lets us pick up this black hair. Alright, what is next? Okay, we should go to the kitchen. Just a reminder that this walkthrough is going to be a bit more detail-oriented, and I'm going to be kind of following Ravon going step by step, because this type of game, there is, that you need to get everything in a location, discover all the clues before you're allowed to leave. It's basically a way to, pass the level, because in order to solve the mystery, you need all the clues and all that, so the game will literally not let you move on without getting all the details, all the clues that you're supposed to get in that location. It kind of can halt the gameplay at a time if you're stuck, but that's what this kind of, this walkthrough's for, and guides online like I'm using. If you just like to watch the video for the story purposes, it also kind of helps the game kind of go along. And this is kind of how I play games whenever, I've played it a million times and I really want to enjoy the story. I'll either watch a walkthrough or I'll try playing the game myself based off memory and then use a guide to kind of help me out, which is kind of what I'm doing right now.
I need something.
Okay. Like right here? Hold on. Oh, there it is.
It is a poor copy of a uniform button. The cannon insignias are hand-drawn.
And then we gotta check this dustbin, I believe. This is a dustbin.
This is diabolically heavy.
Oh, nope, right here.
Nothing of any interest here.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm wrong. Kind of have to keep putting away the helpful little HUD in order to walk some places, which suck.
May I help you?
Hello? Are you aware of what has just happened?
Yes, it seems that our master has got himself killed. Scott told me that much. On his daughter's birthday. And all these nice dishes. It took me so long to prepare them. What a disaster.
How would you describe Sir Bromsby?
Well, as an employer, he was not easily satisfied, always insisting on some Indian or French dish. That old fowlet put it into Sir Bromsby's head that this Frenchman prepare better meals than the English. He would have had my master eating frogs stuffed with snails if he could.
A Frenchman?
Yes, a squint-eyed Frenchman. That must be done like this, and this must be placed like that. Well, he may well be a connoisseur of fine cuisine and service, but of everything else, Miss Lambert dared not even contradict him about the tablecloth's colour, though Bromsby hated white and insisted on blue to match the colour of the daughter's eyes. And look how he placed the tables in the ballroom. I have never seen tables arranged in such a manner.
Yeah, it is a bit odd, isn't it?
The lid of your dustbin is quite heavy.
It makes some noise, doesn't it? At least we know when somebody closes it. I was in the cellar, and I heard the lid closing a little before that, what you said was the shot. I heard it again right after, but that surely must have been Mary, our maid.
You say it was Mary, the housemaid. How can you be sure?
The first time I saw her with my own eyes, when she came to empty the rubbish. She cautioned me not to fall asleep in the storeroom. She always has something amusing to say. The second time, I didn't see her. I only heard the lid close.
I will let you get back to your work.
All right. Good night, sir.
Okay, and I think that's everything in the kitchen for us. Of course, if I miss anything, I can always come back. The game will not let us progress without doing that.
There's a greasy substance on the door handle. Seems to be a sauce?
Somebody didn't wash their hands. Mystery solved. Then we're gonna go in here. I think this is a smoke room. Perfect.
I need something.
Time for the hourglass, Sherlock Holmes.
I need
No?
something.
This? We're gonna measure how long the foot
It is a size 7.
Aha! You know, I do like the sounds in this game. You know, they really had to get, like, they probably had to get, like, some really good ASMR people on the sounds for this, which is really a nice touch. You know, these old games, they had to do as much as they could to make it seem lifelike because they couldn't do it with the graphics. But they still do that for games now, but you guys get my point of what I'm trying to say. And let's see. I think we need to use hourglass on the ashtray.
Curious, this flaky ash does not come from this cigar.
Oh, can we not take this, paper? I guess not. Guess we'll follow where the footsteps are going. Let's see. And then we use the hourglass again. Man, we're really getting a use out of this, ain't we? Ah, right here.
It's a pair of moustache scissors. Red greasy hair.
Oh. Okay.
It's a pair of moustache scissors.
So somebody came in here and cut their mustache that was red. So we're looking for someone who has red hair. From what I can deduce, somebody was wearing a fake military uniform, probably with a fake washcloth that had red greasy hair, cut it so that they wouldn't be recognizable and put on the uniform. That's kind of like the first time I played this game. That's what I deduced from what we have found at this point. Okay, then we gotta go out here in the middle of the hallway. And then look under here. What was that? What was that? What did we pick up? Small box with white powder. You know, I really like how Sherlock is not afraid to get on his hands and knees to get some work done, you know? He's an elegant man, but he isn't afraid to do some work, you know what I mean? We pick up the red bag, which is probably, forget her name, but Mrs. Bromsby's bag. We unpack it? Oh, it's Lavinia. Her name is Lavinia. Unpack the bag, so we'll see what's in here.
Caliber pistol, a Wright model.
Ah, this is not looking good for Mrs. Bromsby. Or Miss Bromsby, I should say. Tickets of a train and boat from Geneva to London.
Train and ship tickets from Geneva to London.
Thanks, Sherlock. I already said that. Thanks. Okay, it doesn't come up in our documents. And a gun. And then use a test tube on the dust of the floor besides a... should have known better. Duh. I will take that.
There is dust. Excellent.
Never seen someone get so excited about dust before. I believe that gets us what? White powder, I think it is. Yes. We go in here into the ladies' room. Ladies' powder room.
This room was rarely used. Everything else is in order. Very interesting. What a pleasant picture. And this lady is wearing a very nice earring.
Is it a silver earring? On the document page, I want to take a look at this picture. Ah, here it is. To the patron great actress with all my encouragement, Veronica Davenport. There's the earring that this namesake of the game is for. How it ties to everything, we will discover.
I need something.
Probably test tube?
Look, what's this?
More white powder. Gotta walk back over here. Oh, sorry, Sherlock. Oh, nope. Get walking, Sherlock. Aren't you supposed to be smart or something? No, don't do that again. Whew, almost did that again. Sorry.
A textbook to study French. A textbook to study French.
Let's see.
A calling
This-
card written in French.
Okay, sorry, I got an email from work. I was just making sure that it wasn't something I need to answer, like, immediately. Let's see, the French visit card. Louis Philippe de la... It's kind of hard to read. I kind of have to lean in. Massardiere? Imperial head waiter and wine waiter. Marilus Knight of Frank? I can't read the rest of that. Is it Frankfura? Of the centuries-old assembly... Pailu. I'm sorry if I'm butchering all this. I am deeply so sorry. Okay, bring up back my guide. Sorry, I keep getting emails from work. You know, and I gotta make sure when I get those, I gotta read that. My job is, it takes a lot of being ready to answer questions right on the go and be willing to get up and go if I needed to. Of course, if I got something I needed to answer right now while I was doing a walkthrough, I would, like, stop the video. I would stop recording and then, like, do a cut, and you guys wouldn't know the better. But sometimes I get emails and I gotta answer them. You know, it is what it is. If you wonder what I do, I work in audio/video production, like live production. Well, I guess I shouldn't call it like that. Like, I basically work for an event staff for a venue, and I provide like audio assistance. So if they need microphones, stuff like that. So I kind of have to be ready to answer questions, and if something gets put up last minute, I got to be ready to do it. You know what I mean? Not like last minute, like right this second, but if something is tomorrow, I got to make plans to set it up. Okay, let's see. So I think we got the calling card, so we can go to the staircase now. Yeah, if you guys are ever interested to hear more about like my work,
There's a
talk about
greasy
it more.
substance on the door handle. Seems to be a sauce.
Another sauce, huh? Let's see. Talk to, I believe this is Mary. Yeah, but I like my work. It's fun to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about it again in a future, like a podcast or something.
Excuse me, but would you be Mary?
What do you want, mister?
Did you hear the shot?
Of course, I heard everything. But I didn't stop my work. Imagine that someone else had been killed and not my master. Oh, he would have given me a good talking to.
What's happened here, on this carpet?
An idiot from Hertford's turned over the fowl. Sir Bromsby passed by without even taking notice. It did seem his mind was elsewhere these days. Of course, it was probably because of Miss Lavinia's homecoming.
What do you think of your employer?
He could be the very devil at times, but not the worst. If you had just known my father. And then the master was so generous with our wages.
Did you go to the well during the reception?
Yes, I went there once to empty my bucket, but that was before the dreadful shooting happened.
Only once?
I told you, only the one time. I even called out to that lout Carl not to fall asleep. Oh, he spends his time drinking in the storeroom, and I often find him asleep there. Oh, but please, sir, you won't mention any of that to Miss Lambert, will you?
No. Maybe. I can't make promises for what Sherlock will do.
And the Frenchman, how could you describe him?
He's a sly one. He's also cross-eyed. Oh, but most handsome and very talkative. Ask Miss Lambert. She's quite keen on him.
Did you observe anyone pass this way after the shot was fired?
No one's come this way, not from the moment I returned after emptying my bucket, and the whole while I've been cleaning. I only saw Scott, who was in the ballroom. He half opened the door to tell me the news.
Thank you, Mary.
Not to worry, sir.
Okay, let's go over here. We gotta open these up.
Blue tablecloths, yet they are shorter than the white ones used in the ballroom.
Interesting! Tablecloths. I believe
Blue
we
tablecloths.
can't go up the staircase. So, we're just kind of making a circling movement, hitting every room when we can. Alright. And I believe this is the guest list. Ah, it is. We'll read it.
This is a woman's handwriting. What do all these annotations mean?
Guest list. Mr. Satterwhite, Major Lockhart. We talked to him. Mr. H. Grimble, Mr. H. Fowlett, S.G.H. Montcalf. Hey, that's a reference to Mystery of the Mummy. So he was probably supposed to attend. There's an X next to his name. Mr. A. Smith, Mr. Crawford, Pritchard, Roundtree, Mr. and Mrs. Umbridge. There's circles, so I wonder what those mean. They're a little bit different circles. Maybe they've been filled in because they showed up. Mr. Ard Redford, McMahon, Mr. and Mrs. Stutterhine, Mr. and Mr. D. Johnson, Colonel Patterson. So there's a dot and an X. Mr. H. Hodge, Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. Blackface without the C. It's kind of a terrible last name to have, honestly, especially considering the horrible thing people do nowadays. Maybe they just weren't thinking when they were making that name. Miss Nellie, Miss Laura, Mr. H. F. Graham, Mr. G. Swinney, he has one. Lieutenant J. Simon, Miss L. Ingalls, Greystock, MacLeod, S.J. Speed, Dr. Jackal. Is that supposed to be for like Jackal and Mr. Hyde? Maybe. So I don't know what these annotations mean. Maybe someone can answer it. Kind of looks like the similar handwriting to, I think... Well, I guess we really can't tell. But I think that's who it's supposed to be. Or maybe it's him. I don't know. Alright, what else do we need to get? We gotta go to the bottom. And talk to him.
Let me introduce myself. I am Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, the infamous detective. We are heaven blessed by your presence. I am afraid I am still in shock.
Tell us what you saw.
I was behind Sir Bromsby when it all happened. I am sorry, but as such I could not see anything of interest. But I am convinced that Miss Lavinia had nothing to do with it.
Whom do I have the pleasure of addressing?
Oh, I forget myself. We haven't been properly introduced. I am Herman Grimble, advisor to the late Sir Melvyn Bromsby and minority shareholder of Bromsby Enterprises.
So you knew Sir Bromsby well, then?
What a sad end for such a great man. We first met in India several years ago. That would have been before the birth of Miss Lavinia. We have been business associates and friends ever since that moment.
What sort of man was Sir Bromsby?
He was a man with strong character that at times seemed excessive. He was unyielding, but he was a good man.
When it comes to these dialogues, I'm probably just going to stick with top to bottom for the most part. Unless I think it's important to just ask something before the other.
Have you any knowledge about the succession of his business interests?
I believe that Sir Bromsby had drawn up his will with his attorney and friend Horace Fowlett. When it is read, we will know more about the specifics. But I can assure you that nothing therein would threaten Bromsby Enterprises.
And where is this Mr. Fowlett?
He must have been here, because he would have most certainly been invited. Although he is hardly a person of high society. Where could he be, I wonder?
We have found Sir Bromsby's speech. There's something quite puzzling about it.
Ah, you talk about the notes that I left for him. Sir Bromsby always improvised his speeches in public as well as in business. Nevertheless, it was still necessary to remind him about particular points. So I sometimes made notes for him on a sheet of paper. Hold on, he must have made that odd notation himself. It says something about a peasant and a snake. What could it mean?
You know, Mr. Grimble, I am the detective here. I ask the questions. Okay.
Did Sir Bromsby have any enemies?
Oh, there are always those who envy a man who is successful in business. But to say that Sir Bromsby had enemies? No, I cannot think of anyone who would desire his death.
According to many witnesses, Sir Bromsby seemed anxious.
Well, he really was a little worried these days, but it was most certainly due to the strains associated with the reception, ensuring a good time for his guests and the happiness of his daughter. They have not seen each other in 6 years. Perhaps he could not see her in the room.
Thank you very much.
I am at your disposal.
Please, sir, I have nothing to tell you. Everyone stands ready to accuse me of this foul deed. I have done nothing. I have only seen my father die before my very eyes on day of my majority.
This young lady tells the truth. I can attest to her every move since she first appeared in the doorway. Beg your pardon for speaking so boldly, miss.
Where were you at the moment of the shooting?
I was near the bar speaking with Colonel Patterson. Everybody started applauding and turning towards the stage. I turned to look through the crowd.
Did you notice anything in particular?
When one of the doors opened, I did see a person hidden from the other's view. A beautiful young lady stood just at the threshold. I felt somewhat ashamed for staring at her so intensely, but her considerable charms captured my full attention until the dreadful shooting took place.
Are you sure it was Miss Bromsby?
Yes, Colonel Patterson was next to me and can confirm what I saw. It seems to me that no one else was near us at that precise moment.
What is your reason for being here?
I owe it to Colonel Patterson. We met each other several days ago at his club. He kindly persuaded me to accompany him.
Sir, now will you answer my questions?
I am listening to you.
Okay, so now you want to talk to me. Okay.
Where were you precisely when the tragedy occurred?
We had been standing at the bar until the shot rang out, and I personally remained at the bar after it.
Did you happen to notice Miss Bromsby at that moment?
Impossible. My eyesight is so deucedly poor that I would not even notice if a fly fell into my whiskey.
Really?
Yes, damn shame. But I have a fine ear. I can offer much when the questions are about sounds. I can tell you that from all the applause, that old Bromsby had arrived and entered from my right. For the sound to have carried so well, the crowd must have been parted in that direction. I will add that if Lieutenant Harrington says that he saw a flea dancing with a fly in this place, you can take it on trust.
Is there anything else you recall?
Well, hold on a moment. I do have a scoop for your tabloid. I can assure you that Bromsby was killed with a right revolver of small caliber.
Ah, how convenient, huh? How inconvenient indeed.
How long have you known Lieutenant Harrington?
We met at my officers' club several days ago. A brave boy, you can believe me. What could be better than to invite him to be my guest at this reception, where he could make many fair acquaintances?
So you're playing a wingman, is that it? Okay.
Thank you for this information, sir.
Colonel to you.
Alright, chill it.
Were you at that precise spot at the moment of the murder?
Indeed, I was standing just there. I could easily see the door because there were so few people in front of me.
What did you do right after the shot was fired?
I left the room as did almost everyone. I must leave now and make my excuses to Miss Lavinia for my behaviour, don't you think?
Yeah, man,
Thank you
chill
for
it,
your help.
man.
It was not a problem.
Alright, I'm gonna walk over here.
I would like to ask you several questions, if you don't mind.
If I can be of help, sir?
What were you doing when the tragedy happened?
I was serving those two gentlemen. As I was occupied, I saw nothing.
Are you one of the household staff?
No, I was sent by the Hartford agency to serve at the reception.
Okay, so he's an outside presence, huh?
All right, you may take or leave.
Good evening, sir. Sir?
Did you know the Frenchman?
Oh, he chatters on like all the French. I do not think he came back.
Whoa, okay, chill it.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure, sir.
Alright, now let's go back to Lavinia. I believe... Let's talk to her first. Let's see if she has anything to say.
I beg you, please leave me. I will answer only to the authorities.
I should reveal one of my hints.
Okay. How about this?
Miss, this revolver, is it yours?
Oh, dear God.
That's right. So if you put the gun and you pick up the gun and you click on her as if you want to talk to her, that's you revealing a hint. That could be kind of confusing, I think.
Why would you require a pistol?
My father gave it to me shortly after I arrived. Dear God, what will the police make of this? I swear I did not kill my father. No.
But why would he press you to carry a pistol?
He seemed most anxious for my safety and his own. He told me that he would explain everything to me later, after the reception.
Miss, with your consent, I can investigate this matter.
Mr. Holmes, Mr. Grimble has explained to me who you are and what you do. I would be eternally grateful if you could find out who killed my father.
That's all right. I must leave you now. Be strong, miss.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
I asked myself, what was Watson doing while I was searching the house? He was supposed to prevent people from leaving by the back entrance.
Here now, watch your step. If you're a reporter, there'd better be a doctor nearby, because when I get done with you, you'll need one.
Look here, my good man, I am a doctor. Dr. Watson, in fact, and believe me...
Dr. Watson? Hold on. Are you the Dr. Watson who writes about all those cases solved by Sherlock Holmes? I've read all your adventures.
Who are you?
My name is Lamb, Governor. I'm Sir Bromsby's coachman. Tell me, is he really that clever, this Sherlock Holmes?
Look sharp, Lamb. Sherlock Holmes and I require your able assistance.
No doubt.
Stand firm at the private entrance and make sure no one enters or leaves until Holmes or myself returns.
My pleasure, Dr. Watson. You tell Mr. Holmes that if anybody even steps on the lawn, they'll have to deal with Lamb. And I can tell you, there are few bold enough to dare my fists.
Sure.
This door is blocked.
That gate is the only way in or out of here, Dr. Watson. I've already secured the other door on orders of Miss Lambert to avoid them nosy reporters. If anyone tries to make a break through the garden, they won't get past me.
I leave you, Lamb.
Right, I'll stand guard.
I shall wait here for the constables to arrive.
All right, let's go over here and talk to some of the other guests that are on the outside, such as Mrs. Lambert, I believe, is right here.
Miss Lambert, I have been looking for you. What a tragedy.
Simply dreadful. Can't believe what they're saying about Miss Lavinia.
Why did you open the gate so hastily?
I was so upset. I know now it was imprudent. I should have waited until the authorities arrived, but some of those gentlemen were so loudly insistent that I yielded.
Have you informed the police?
The village constable attended the reception. He left on his bicycle, I assume to inform the proper authorities. He told me that an inspector from Scotland Yard was already in the area on official business. I know nothing about the nature of his business, but I was told he should arrive soon.
What sort of man was your employer?
Oh, he was a great man. The people of the hall considered him to be very strict, but I think it was just his way of showing a fatherly attitude. And he dreamed of this day when Miss Lavinia would return.
You have a list of guests.
Oh, of course. I have a complete guest list for the reception. It's inside the dining room. I believe the police will have need of it. Well, nevertheless, I must first caution them to pay little heed to the notations I made regarding certain names.
Why were these notations made?
Their purpose was to note particular seating arrangements for the meal and the recital, according to specific concerns. Those individuals whom I considered to be very important were marked with a circle.
What about the other odd marks?
Louis-Philippe, Monsieur de la Musardière, suggested this method of arranging the seating. He also advised me that those guests with poor eyesight and hearing should be seated so that the acoustics and lighting in their room would favour their enjoyment of the recital. So the first category was marked with a point, the second with a cross.
What do you know about this Frenchman?
He is from a noble family, but found himself forced to seek a vocation as a head waiter. He is so inspired and keenly sensitive to the details. At first, I was afraid that Sir Bromsby would take offence with his suggestions, but he had moderated his opinions regarding French culture due to the influence of his friend Horace Fowlett.
What did he do that was so extraordinary?
His assistance was invaluable. He took such concerns with every little detail. The dishes, the tablecloths, everything. He not only declined an offer of lodging here at the hall, he also deferred his wages until the end of the reception. Oh, I would be so glad if he were here now.
And where has he gone?
He had pressing business in London. In fact, he found it necessary to visit his Harley Street physician. It seems his glasses were no longer helping with his eyesight.
You have been very kind, Miss Lambert.
You are most welcome. Oh, what a tragedy.
Okay, so now that we know what the annotations mean, let's look at this. Let's see, okay, so X is like bad hearing, and the circle with the dot in the middle is eyesight, right? So that would mean Colonel has a hard time hearing and seeing. So even though he recognized the sound of the shot, probably means that he still can't hear that well. So who really knows? But that's definitely something notable, is that we got accounts of a lot of things from him. What's next?
Hello. Please excuse me. I'm investigating the murder that has just happened.
Oh, yes. Well, that is good. What would you like to know?
Where were you at the moment when Sir Bromsby was killed?
I was near the stage, and I saw him falling. Oh, my goodness. It was terrifying. I ran for the door, but despite all my efforts, it was blocked.
But your costume is torn. How did this happen?
When I was trying to open the door, the crowd dragged me away. I then fell to the floor. I fortunately suffered no harm, but when I arose, my beautiful costume was ripped and stained.
Well, I won't disturb you anymore.
Yes, no, fine, thanks.
Alright, that guy's a bit on edge, don't you think?
Well, my good man, why are you here?
I am the manservant of Lieutenant Harrington. I accompanied him with the old general of the infantry, or whatever. I seem to have drunk too much.
Did you hear the shot?
What shot? Oh, the shot. Great reception, isn't it?
No.
I have to go. Are you all right?
Very good. Bye, madam.
Dude was like, shots?
And you, what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for Miss Roundtree, the niece of that banker chap. She is inconsolable, all because her admirer of a mere 3 days' acquaintance had already abandoned her. Nothing unusual about that. There is no worse-tempered female than this girl. Well, maybe other than my wife.
Damn, he was putting it back.
You heard the shot?
I just left to relieve myself there at the end of the garden, you see. Seems to me I missed a good race for the doors. Worthy of the Royal Derby.
Well, good.
Cheers.
Excuse me, may I speak with you?
Yeah, your servant, sir.
Are you one of the domestics employed by the hall?
No, I am the personal servant to old Satterthwaite. He is there, sitting on that bench. He seems right enough, but he refused a small drink for his health. Surely he cannot be well.
Tell me, what have you seen?
I heard the shot, then such a strange noise, and the next thing I know, all those money bags are running in a mad rush with their wives or whatever.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
Okay, now it's time to go talk to Miss Roundtree and the maid over here.
Do you work here, miss?
Yes, my name is Sue. I am a maid for the hall.
Where were you when these tragic events took place?
I was serving when it happened. I ran straight for the door, just like the others. I swear his daughter must have done it. She's such a strange one.
Thank you, miss. We may talk with you again.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh.
Are you a relative of the victim?
No. In truth, I always mocked Sir Bromsby. I am upset because my friend did not arrive as promised.
As beautiful as she is cruel, apparently. I have questioned everyone here. I'll go see if Holmes has finished on his end. Holmes, the gate!
I know, Watson, but it is of no real consequence. To question all these people would be a tiresome activity and would be of no value to this inquiry. Such ordinary inquiries are best left to the police. They have their purposes.
As you like, Holmes.
Now, Watson, to put your mind at rest, I can see that you have done well in my absence by placing the formidable coachman at the gate. I also imagine you have already spoken with Miss Lambert?
Yes, and some other people too.
Hold your report until our return to Baker Street. Meanwhile, be a good man and look to the gate. I must be informed the moment any official arrives. As always, I depend on your able assistance, Watson.
Everyone needs a Watson in their life. Always just wanting to help out, you know? Good man, him. Okay, so we go over here. Let's see. There's that little white speck right there, so we're going to take a magnifying glass. Right here.
I need something. Take
the cigarette butt, and then I believe these are supposed to be footsteps?
It is a
Yep.
size 7.
Ah, I think the same as those footprints inside.
Holmes!
Good day, Lestrade. Your haste deserves comment. One could say that you were right to hurry here, as this case is one of great complexity and challenge. Do not worry. I think that you will manage to get back to your mother before the dinner hour.
In the name of devil, Holmes, you go too far. Do you spy on me now? How do you know I've been to my mother's?
Dear Lestrade, it is really quite simple. I must admit my mind has been stimulated by the main course, which would be this unique case. However, I sometimes enjoy a light snack of the details which surround it. Observe, we are in the middle of the countryside, and you have some fresh yellow pollen, but only on your right sleeve. This implies a recent gift of flowers. It is a gallant gesture, but surely a meeting with the fairer of our species would take place in London. Considering the promptness of your arrival, it must have been a bouquet of flowers you took to someone who lives in this area. I presume that you have family living nearby, and I would think only your mother would warrant such an attentive gesture. There is a fresh dab of fat at the corner of your mouth, as well as on the bit of handkerchief visible from your pocket. This is consistent with a recent meal of a big piece of steak. Who would make a policeman swallow such a substantial meal at this hour, and when a crime has been just committed? It could only be a mother thinking about the hard task awaiting her child.
Well, Holmes, when you explain it like that, it really seems quite simple. Good show. What about this Bromsby murder?
A unique case, as I've already noted, but any supposition would be premature until we consider Dr. Watson's report, as well as your own findings. Miss Lavinia has asked that the esteemed Dr. Watson and I give this case our full attention, though I doubt she is aware of all the implications of this case. Lestrade, you can find the victim inside, and I recommend calling upon his solicitor, Mr. Horace Fowlett. Mrs. Hudson is cooking a roast tomorrow at noon. Why don't you be our guest, and we can share our discoveries? What do you think? Watson and I must take our leave, as there's much to be done at Baker Street. Are you coming, Watson? Let us return to Baker Street.
We just click on the map and let's go.
Everything is well noted. Watson, bravo. All of these elements will be a great help to us. As for myself, I have already told you everything that I know, and I can tell you nothing more until I receive answers to the messages I've sent with Wiggins. Now I must return to my experiments to test my theory regarding the substance I found at the scene of the murder. Meanwhile, I suggest you look through the books in the bookcase. Information that you find there might prove very useful in resolving this case.
I have to check 3 books on the shelves. Let's see.
Okay, I think we got the 3 books. Did we? Yep, a book about footprints. And then a book of ballistic science and study of tobacco. I think we got all 3. So I think... well, I think we just grabbed what we needed to get. So, let's read these, shall we? Sorry, guys, I was getting a text from my girlfriend and had to answer her real quick. But we can... sorry, gotta clear my throat before I read this. We're gonna do a lot of reading because, you know, we're intellectuals here. We can deduce the height and mass of any individual through a simple examination of their footprints left upon the ground. This is possible even should their stride be unremarkable. The stride is often shortened when an individual is moving with a great caution to avoid detection either the prior to an immediate after or they have committed a crime. This hypothesis corresponds to almost every case. There are some exceptions. False conclusions are possible when the person who left the footprints comes from a region of the world where the morphology in regards to the feet is unusual. Consider the Chinese tradition imposed upon females born of noble families. They are compelled by such tradition to have their feet bound and squeezed from a tender age till the day of their wedding. Ew. This creates a significant disparity between the size of the feet artificially deprived of the natural growth and the rest of their body. The probability of encountering such anomalies is remote, however, this work would not be complete if they were not included. The following table indicates the correlation between shoe size and the average stature of people. 10, 1 meter, 9 centimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 meter, 9 centimeters, 9.5, 1 meter, 85 centimeters, 9, 1 meter, 80 centimeters, 8.5, 1 meter, 76 centimeters, 8, 1 meter, 72 centimeters, 7.5, 168, 7, 164, 6.5, 160. Sorry guys, I'm going to turn down my phone because I keep getting notifications right now. I gotta be attentive to that, but sometimes it just wants to interrupt us. The same reasoning applies to stoutness. It is logical to presume that a corpulent man will leave a leaner man. See, I can read fast, but I can't read correctly. Will leave deeper impressions in the soil than a leaner man. You should adapt your interpretation of these footprints to consider the type of stride. A running man will leave his mark, as we'll have noted, with a deeper impression at the toes in relation to an entire footprint. In regards to a typical or reduced stride, you need to walk beside the footprints and compare the respective impressions. If yours are deeper, it means that an author of the studied impressions is lighter in weight than you are and vice versa. Due to the effect of various conditions such as a lawn, the ground may not be susceptible to this form of analysis. From our experience, when the footprints are barely detectable in grass, as when the ground is scarcely broken, the person's weight is no more than 140 pounds. Okay, now we got ballistic science. Sorry guys, we're going to be doing a lot of reading in this game. It requires a lot of analysis, reading, and piecing things together with the details that we get from documents and stuff like that. Okay, ballistic science. Popularization of ballistic science by Sherlock Holmes. So these were written by him. Categories of footprints by Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Thus, it is easier to derive information about the author of a revolver shot if we know... Sorry, I was trying to read like him, and I can't. Shot if we know that we had aimed with great care. The situation is ideal if the shooter was in an enclosed space under pressure. A portion of the powder normally adheres to the walls of the level of the shooter's eyes. It is enough to add approximately 15 centimeters to the height of the powder marks to arrive at an approximation of the shooter's stature, accurate to within 1 or 2 centimeters. So saying where the eye line is, you can kind of tell how tall they are. Study of Tobacco, The Sorts of Tobacco by M. Pollen, Explorer. Okay, so this one isn't by Sherlock. After authorization, the local herb is mixed with tobacco leaves and manufactured the cigarettes primarily by the Trapaki Company. It is unlikely that the particular blend of tobacco would be found any other place than Brazil or even outside an Amazonian basin, primarily because of the calming effect of this tobacco mixture is a significant cause of industrial and agricultural decline in the production of this tobacco. It is of common to encounter a Brazilian peasant who indifferently watches a bird steal the tobacco seeds that he has just planted in the ground. Invariably, you will also observe a small pile of flaky ash, characteristics of the tobacco, near his feet. Okay.
Here is information which could be really helpful in our investigation. These Chirapaki cigarettes come from Brazil, and they seem to contain narcotic substances. What might they be?
I need to analyze the evidence found at Sherringford Hall. A piece of white cloth, a small box, various powders, and finally the hair. Let's get to work.
I like how
need
Sherlock
to
is
analyze
just
the
so...
evidence found at Sherringford Hall. A piece of white cloth, a small box, various powders, and finally the hair. Let's get to work.
I love how he's just so like, let's do it, gang! Like he's so just giddy. Okay, so first things first. So we take the bowl of water, put it on top of here. On the alcohol burner right here. The green soap bottle, we mix it in. Sorry, I'm reading the guide right now to make sure I do this in the right order. On the bowl of water, yellow foam water is now seen. Click the light to the alcohol lamp. Oh shit, my phone keeps falling. Oops. Okay, click the light of the alcohol lamp. There it goes. Dirty white cloth.
To analyze the nature of these stains, I must first soak the cloth in a solution of soap and water. Now I shall place this cloth in the solvent.
Okay. Hold on. And click it on the bowl with the soap. Soak cloth and solvent. Take the bowl of water and place it on the metal plate again. Okay. The blue solvent. Okay. He kind of tells you what you need to do. But, okay, so we basically
now
have to do the same thing again.
I shall place this cloth in the solvent. The stains are sticky, but not very oily.
Alright, what's next? The microsoap. We take the light cloth to inventory. Okay. Oh, sorry, Sherlock.
Let's examine it under the microscope. A very fine white cotton.
Yeah, he kind of takes you through what you need to do. But sometimes it, like, doesn't want to click where you want it to click all the time. Okay. Aha, okay. Oh, these are notes that we have gotten. In the ballroom, the handle of the door leading to the kitchen corridor is twisted down. In the corridor of the kitchen, there's a smell of gunpowder. In the corridor of the kitchen, a large black clock behind the statue, considering its size, it could have been hidden somewhere in that nook. In the corner of the kitchen, powdery residue found on the door frame. Okay, so... what was it saying? Hold on. Inventory, click on the bowl with the solvent. Take the white cloth from inventory and click it on the glass plate. The cloth is done. Disappears in inventory. Read the result under the notebook's report page. It is a fine white... oh, okay. Hold on. There it is. In the ladies' room, traces of brown object preserving white powder. In the corridor stairs, a trace of sauce and handle door frames. In the staircase rooms, it seems the sauce found on the rags here matches what was found in the door handles. In the staircase room, blue tablecloths found in the drawer. They are shorter than the white ones found in the ballroom. In the garden outside the server door, cigar butt with a white flaky ash. His name is only partially visible. Chur. In the garden outside the server door, footprint size 7. Found in the white cotton cloth. This characteristic of army officer gloves. It has soluble, non-greasy stains resulting from contact with a dirty object. Piece of a dirty cloth found in the ballroom. Very fine white cotton characteristics to army officer gloves. Okay. Next up, we take the dark powder from the inventory and place it on the metal plate.
What would be the reaction if I heated this powder?
Okay, so we just gotta do
Burnt
that.
gunpowder.
Piece of dirty cloth. Oh, no. Powder found in corridor of the kitchen is no doubt gunpowder. Yeah, I kind of assumed that from the beginning. Inventory. Place the black hair under the microscope. Ah, here it is.
Let's examine it under the microscope. A man's hair.
Thank you. Next up, we have small box of
Let me
white
study
powder.
this more closely. Let me study this more closely.
Do we need to...
Let me study this more closely.
Hold on. What am I doing wrong? Hold on. Oh, okay. We have to take the magnifying glass
A
on here.
box containing some white powder.
Lots of white powder, you know? Interesting. Glass. On the glass plate in the microscope. Okay, so we have
Let's
to put them all
examine it under the microscope. Let's
Each
examine it.
here.
Let's examine it. These powders are similar. I can see it from the grains.
All the same. We put it back. And then we have to heat the white powder.
What would be the reaction if I heated this powder?
Right as I'm reading this, he says it. So I guess just follow what he says, but like you just gotta pick it up. So we gotta heat
It has
this
no
up.
effect.
And I think...
Let's mix some water with this powder. A glue or pasty substance, like starch.
Okay. So that kind of answers there. Now
Let's
it's red hair.
examine it under the microscope. A light feminine perfume. It seems to me that we have gathered all of the key elements, Watson. However, before we retire, let's summarize our findings. The questions should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Okay, this is the interesting part to this game, is where you take all the evidence you've gotten, and if you have all the evidence up to this point, it will take you to this part. This part will not move forward until you have everything, you get every piece of evidence from analyzing stuff and gathering them from the different locations of the day of that investigation. I believe each day ends on something like this, if not all of them, most of them. So this is the fun part where we really get to answer that. Now, I already have the answers for me, for the most part, and I'm not going to go through all of this to, you know what, how about this? To make it still kind of fun, to see if I remember everything, I'll try answering all the questions once on my own, and whatever I get wrong, I'll pull from the guide, and then we'll get all the rant answers. Just make it a little bit fun. You think that would be fun? I would like to test myself a little bit, because finding everything is a little bit more difficult because you can't always see everything, and it's very detailed, but answering these questions is the real fun part for me. Okay, so we got the on-corridor to kitchen black hair found the furniture oily, maybe due to the use of briotine. Hair of a man. In the corridor to the stairs, powder found here matches the powder found in the ladies' room in the small box under the end table. Okay. Rice powder very pulverant, resembling from far gunpowder, but not offensive at all. Could have been used due to the quantity to conceal the presence of the gunpowder. Okay. I see. Red hairs found in wash bowl smoking room. Very thin woman's hairs. Oh. Interesting. Alright, let's go. Do we have an idea of the weapon used for crime? Yes. And we know that... Don't know why I'm clicking through all these. just to get that purple off. Okay, we know that based off of... he didn't answer us then. Impossible, doesn't notice it fell into whiskey. Kill with the right revolver. I'm blind. So it is this one. So we basically have to take... It will have the similar borders to what it is over here. You got to remember that. So we can pull from notes that we know for a fact, documents that we get, or actual dialogue. Do you have an idea of what weapon is used for the crime? Yes, because of the conversation we had with Colonel Patterson, where he said he absolutely knew it was a right revolver. That's how we know. Next question. Could the murderer escape through the stairs going to the second floor? No, because... Let's see, Mary. Let's go to notes. We think what happened here on the carpet. Did you observe anyone pass this way after the shot was fired? No one has come this way. Now from the moment I returned after emptying my bucket for the whole while I've been cleaning, I only saw Scott, who was in the ballroom, and he's having door to tell me the news. So that's how we know the answer to this one. The ashes found in the smoking room are from English cigarettes? No, because... Let's see... I think this one. Where else in the smoking room? Or... Yep, white flaky ashes, only possible chur. So that's telling us that it's the same. Those ashes were visible, they were chur. So they were the same as the ones there. And then for the book about footprints. Next. Was the side door going to the kitchen open after the shot? Yes. And we know that based on our conversation with Carl Bannister, because... You say it was, how could you be sure? First time I saw her was on eyes and caved to empty rubbish. She cautioned me not to fall asleep in the classroom. She always has something to say. The second time I did see her, I only heard the lid close. So we absolutely heard the lid close. I had the lid for what you said. What you said was a shot. I heard it again right after. So we know for a fact someone went in there. Did Miss Lambert choose tablecloths and arrange tables? No. And we know that from... We actually talked with Miss Lambert. He took concerns, little detailed dishes, tablecloths, everything. He was on decline to lodging here at the hall. He also deferred his wages at the end. So that's saying that he kind of was the one responsible for that. Then, let's see. I think maybe it might be Mary. No, that's Simon. Scott. Hold on. Let's see. No, that's not it. Carl. Everything. Yep. He chose it, as he said here. As Carl said so. Next up, do you have an idea of the murderer's height? Yes, because... Yep, right here. In the corner of the kitchen, powdery residue found on the door frame leading to the ballroom at a height of 1.65 meters. And then we look at the foot about ballistic science. We can take care that based on where it is on the wall, it's approximately about 15 centimeters to the height of the powder. So that's how we know. Among the interrogated people, did any of the others at Colonel Patterson have bad eyesight? Yes. Miss Roundtree. Miss L. Ingalls. Among the interrogated people, no, because of the guest list, and we know that because of what Miss Lambert tells us. Guest list for reception is inside. The police will have need of it. No, nonetheless, notations made. The purpose was to note seating arrangements for the meal and the recital according to the specific skirt. Those individuals who I'm considered to be very important are marked with a circle. What about the other odd remarks? De La Master suggested that dismiss the range of seating. He also advised me that those guests with poor eyesight and hearing should be seated to that. The acoustics of the lighting in the room would favor their enjoyment of the recital. So the first category was marked with a point, the second with a cross. So that means if we look at the guest list, the crossed is poor eyesight. So let's see, nope. Let me read that again. They point in the second with a cross. Poor eyesight and hearing should be seated. So the hearing is actually the cross, and eyesight has a point. So point, cross, Miss Roundtree, what is it? Had bad eyesight? Nope, nobody that we interviewed.
We must have made an error.
Ah, man, damn it.
Yes or no,
I was so
and
close.
Justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
All right, well, that was my answers, and I ended up being wrong. So with that being said, we're going to go through and actually get the right ones. That was fun, based on what I could come up with. Let's see. Question 1. Do we have an idea of the weapon used for the crime? Answer, yes. The dialogue. Tab, select dialogue. The second time, click on the blue quiz frame. Second time. So we got that one right. Could the murderers escape through the stairs going to second floor? No. Mary's dialogue. Got it. 3. Ashes found in the smoky room are from English cigarettes. Answer no, justified. Red frame, cigarette butt in front of service door report. Got that. Green frame, study of tobacco. Okay. I'm sorry, that's where I messed up. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Next up for... Was the side door going to the kitchen opened after the shot? Answer no. Satterwaits? What did he say? Was I just not paying attention to him? Oh, I say, because he was saying it was blocked. I was near the stage and I saw him falling. On my goodness, it was terrifying right door, but despite my efforts, it was blocked. Okay, so they force people out. Okay, I see. That makes sense. So that's the correct choice. I was wrong. So that meant... That could tell me that there's no way that people would have gotten through there. The door where they shot through. Okay, I see what they were trying to say. Alright. Next up, does Mr. Enter true tablecloths and range tables? No. Carl Panister dialogue, Miss Lambert's dialogue. We got that correct. 6. Do we have an idea of the murderer's height? Answer, yes. Red frame. The 1.6 corridor on the kitchen. This is correct. Green frame, ballistic science. This is correct. 7. Among the interrogated people, did any others than Colonel Patterson have bad eyesight? Yes. Among the interrogated people. Wait, why did I choose that? Is that another mess up on my part? That's my bad. I didn't mean to put that. Among the interrogated people, though. So that's what's kind of specific that I think is wrong. Miss Roundtree. Ah, okay. Yep, nope, I'm sorry. I totally forgot about her. I kind of didn't like her because she was crying about being left when someone died. Kind of weird.
It is simplicity itself, Watson. We have answered all the questions.